Imagine falling in love while the world around you is falling apart. It's 1944. The sky is filled with the sound of planes and sirens. Cities are burning, soldiers are dying, and millions of people are just trying to survive another day. In the middle of that chaos, two lives are about to cross in the most unexpected way. A nurse and a pilot, two strangers who never asked for war, but found love because of it. Europe, 1944. The Second World War has been raging for 5 long years. Towns are destroyed, families are scattered, and hope feels like a distant memory. Mary Thompson, a 23-year-old nurse from England, volunteered to serve in a field hospital in northern France. She had seen more pain than most people see in a lifetime, yet she refused to give up her humanity. "If I can save even one person," she once wrote, "then maybe the world hasn't completely lost its soul." One cold morning, the sound of engines filled the sky. Allied planes were fighting off German anti-aircraft guns. One of them, a small American fighter, was hit. The pilot ejected just in time, crashing into a muddy field near Mary's camp. His name was Jack Miller, a 25-year-old from Chicago. He was badly wounded when Mary found him, his uniform torn, blood on his shoulder and fear in his eyes. She carried him to the tent, cleaned his wounds and whispered, "You're safe now. You're gonna be okay." That was the moment something changed. Amid the chaos, a quiet connection began to form, not through words, but through small acts of kindness. Days turned into weeks. Jack stayed in the field hospital, recovering from his injuries. Outside, bombs kept falling. Inside, Mary and Jack found something like peace. Every night they talked and about home, about music, about what life was like before the war. Jack told her about the Chicago skyline and how he used to play the piano for his sister. Mary told him about her dream of opening a small clinic by the sea, a place where no one's afraid. One evening, when the noise of bombs was too close to sleep, Jack handed her a piece of paper. A letter. "If I don't make it," he said, "I want you to know, meeting you was the only good thing this war ever gave me." She didn't reply. She just held his hand, and for a moment the world outside disappeared. Eventually Jack recovered, and orders came in he had to return to his unit. The morning he left, the air was cold and grey. "Promise me you'll stay safe," Mary said, forcing a smile. Jack nodded. "Only if you promise the same." They hugged for the first and last time, surrounded by tents, soldiers, and smoke. That night, Mary wrote in her diary, "I've seen so much death, but today feels like losing something I never even had." Weeks passed. No letters came. The war grew worse. Cities burned again, and Mary began to wonder if she'd ever see him again. 1945. The war was finally over. Germany had surrendered. The guns went silent. Soldiers went home. But for many, home no longer existed. Mary returned to London. She kept working at a small hospital, helping those broken by the war, not just in body but in spirit. And then, one morning while sorting medical reports, a nurse handed her a letter. The handwriting looked familiar. It was from Jack. He was alive. He had survived a crash, been taken prisoner, and finally released after the war. The letter ended with just one line. "If you're still out there, I'm coming to find you." A few months later, in a small park in London, Mary waited on a bench. She wore her old nurse's coat, the same one she had worn the day they met. And then, through the crowd, she saw him. Jack, thinner, older, but still smiling. No words, just tears, laughter, and silence. Two people who had lost everything, finally finding each other again. Mary and Jack married in 1946. They moved to the countryside and built the clinic Mary once dreamed about. For the rest of their lives, they treated veterans and children of war because they knew what it meant to lose everything and still find hope. When Jack passed away in 2003, Mary wrote one last letter. "We didn't win the war, but we won something greater, each other." Their story reminds us that even in humanity's darkest hour, love doesn't die. It survives. It waits. It heals.